So, how's the day, everyone, dear viewers? Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might want to get those two things, combine them, make them into one. So, Tamla Horsford. Tamla. The way that I say stuff, no, I'm not Egyptian or anything. I just say stuff very unique, as in the wording and the way that I say even people's names. My volume, I don't want to turn it up much more, but when it comes to her, say, dying in the way that she did, I'm going to get into the story in a little bit. Her being found dead, somehow I'm thinking either she fell over a balcony, or she was pushed to her death over a balcony, or her neck was broken, or somebody broke her neck before tossing her lifeless body over a balcony. Who knows? But more than anything is the question, what was the relationship between this individual I'm speaking on and those that were at that overnight sleepover? Because even the sleepover is questionable. Adults having sleepovers, when you think of overnight sleepovers, you think of sex being involved and possibly more. Drugs, and you don't know what that. Some people get involved in prostitution and overnight sleepovers. That's not to say that she was involved in those sort of things. And yet there's something that stands out to me about even a overnight sleepover involving grown adults. So you do, in fact, even in Miami, have what's considered swinger parties, and yet they rename it to overnight sleepover. See what I'm going with this? There was, in fact, a Miami museum called the Frost Museum. I've been down to Miami on various occasions, so I know what goes down in Miami. BDSM and all type of things goes on at various sleepovers, which are in fact swinger parties, right? But yeah, Miami, in fact, a museum called the Frost Museum in Miami had a sex theme overnight party, but it was more so of a sleepover where adults were allowed to, yes, pay. I think the price was $125, exactly $125, where you would in fact stay the night, and it was all sex themed at a museum. But yes, swingers parties, and yet you thinking they're sleepovers, right? So the questions I'm going to ask later, I'm going to ask about that, because that's the thing. To ask too further and too much deeper is to try to see, right? So Miss Horsford, she was found dead. This is for those that haven't heard the story. I'm going to just go into that a little bit before I get into some of the questions I want to ask about the sleepover, right? Miss Horsford was found dead with multiple blunt force injuries on her body after attending a adult sleepover. Shouts out to Georgia. It is said that Horsford the cause of death is and was accidental, caused by acute ethanol intoxication in relation to a fall from a balcony at the home, I'm gonna say, of a party goer. I'm thinking there was more to have a sleepover is to title it just that. When I said the homeowner, what I just said, party goer, where she was found dead at the home of a party goer. Let's stick with that, the wording, party goer, not her, the homeowner, because to provide a party of some sort in the form of a sleepover, as I say, more than likely drugs or something was there. Did this individual that was found dead, did she or did she not bring her own drugs? Because even the questionable stands even in that house, as in how she got a hold of drugs, and which was found in her system. See how they're like all laid up under each other? Yes, grown women do that sort of thing, and yes, still sleepovers. She supposedly fell from the balcony while being high, as her case remains unsolved. Just one of her injuries were a broken neck, and that is questionable. Her broken neck, more than anything, is questionable. As it was said, the cause of the broken neck was based upon her falling to her death, right? Again, still questionable. Could someone or could someone not break a neck? I want you, the viewer, to answer me back in the comment section. Shouts out to Cece out there. Cece put me on. I'm saying, real just says, right? The homeowner and the homeowner's boyfriend was questioned, as they should have been, as well as everybody else, right? So the homeowner and the homeowner's boyfriend was questioned if the boyfriend of the homeowner threw Horsford off of the balcony. That's what's so odd in itself. It's odd in itself. How is somebody... Let me see. Because that will make sure... Yeah. Let me see. Let me pause. To think too many things and too many thoughts while I sit right here on camera is to say, why would the boyfriend be questioned more than anything? Because then you have to start questioning his background. Was there any type of history of abuse in his background? That boyfriend of the homeowner, I'm saying. Who hasn't questioned these sort of things? What was the homeowner's boyfriend's past, like his history? It was their criminal record, jail history or something? Because for police to even be asking him more than anybody, remember, there was several people in that house and not just the homeowner's boyfriend. For the police just to go in and question him if he threw her off the balcony, the homeowner's boyfriend, if the police questioning him more than anybody, is to say, well, that looks almost suspect in a sense, right? Why not question? I mean, because even women have been known to kill other women, right? There's arguments, fights, petty thieves. There's all type of stuff that goes on. Sometimes women have been known to dig in other women's purses and all the rest, right? You don't know why people argue and fight, right? Bickering and all the rest, and then say somebody killed somebody and say, well, she must have fell off the balcony, right? And yet, for him to stand out like that to police is to say that's interesting as well as odd. Once again, for the third time, I'm asking and questioning. Whoa, why is that boyfriend? Something must be more unsaid about him. That homeowner's boyfriend or something I can see right through as in a peek through. Right? So, the homeowner stated that Horsford didn't appear drunk at all before she went. Wait, let me pause. No editing involved. The homeowner stated Horsford didn't appear drunk at all before everyone went to bed. The individual right there in the photo, the homeowner is stating that she did not appear drunk at all. And then everyone went to bed after that, right? I'm in question of if the homeowner is more than likely covering she as well as everyone else in that to prevent liability issues on the end of the homeowner. See, everything falls on the homeowner in the end. It just has to, because that's where the death, yes, was pronounced with even that, right? The liability issues and all the rest and the shadiness and all that corrupt and covering up could more likely fall on that homeowner. And so for a homeowner to say, well, she didn't appear drunk before we went to sleep, that's to say that that's a cover-up or something. It has to be. Because even there's all type of stuff that happen where schools, where it's a slip and fall or some other type of issue where a school will try to cover up themselves to prevent a lawsuit or something like that. A homeowner will cover themselves to prevent liability lawsuit issues. That's the questionable. Allow that, dear viewers out there, to sit in your mind about the homeowner situation, because anybody in their right mind being a homeowner don't want anything to fall on their lap or in their lap pertaining to, say, going to jail after someone has died on their premises. Usually they're the first ones to cover up something in the shady department. Yes, I'm screaming out with even that. So, good thing you hear me out there loud and clear. There's CC and everybody else, right? So, let's see. Yeah, because see, yeah, the homeowner don't want anything. I'm going back to that again because it's written. Did Stevie Wonder say that? It's a ribbon in the sky is written, or was that Nas? I don't know. So yes, you want to cover all that in your evidence, as in cover up the evidence and possibly DNA, and even the fingerprint if the boyfriend has something to do with killing her, right? That homeowner will want to cover everything surrounding the premises, and even the covering up of a boyfriend of a homeowner. That stands as accomplice as well. Did I mention accomplice in my last video? People have all types of ways of getting rid of evidence, let me tell you, even if it involves a boyfriend or lover. Because to want to stay with him or her forever is to cover up that as well, together, so that y'all can stay together away from a jail cell. Let me see. I just laid that upside the head on top of a hater out there, somebody that might have did something right. In the beginning, I was like, well, maybe she could have fell to her death because, see, even people have been known to be on cruise ships, be too intoxicated and fall right off the ship. That's how you have many missing person cases where people say are on a cruise ship or something like that, and they come up missing. Yes, some of them have in fact gotten off and don't want to be found, as in on an island somewhere, wanting to be on a deserted island to never be found again. People do get on cruise ships and do that sort of thing, which is how they remain unfound, right? And yet, once again, you do have people that do get too intoxicated and they fall to their death. There's a likelihood of even that, because to know that a body is too wobbly, think of this. When drunk drivers are in the front seat of a vehicle and not in the back seat and not in the trunk hiding bodies, right? When a drunk driver is in a vehicle, some of them, if you notice, when they kill people, oftentimes they survive. That's the point of the drunk driver, I'm guessing. I don't know, right? There's a stiffness in the body or something. You know, even shock can stand in that, right? How stiff is a body pertaining to preventing shock on the end of a drunk driver, right? Paralysis can come in that, right? Smashing into something too hard, and yet for some unknown reason, there's been drunk drivers that have sped off 100 miles an hour, yes, and killed the whole family in the process. And yet they survive, right? That's to say, well, let's see. How clenched up is the body, or how limp is the body? Because, see, some bodies being clenched up will prevent shock, and yet some bodies being very limp. It all depends on the situation in the body. With even that, go ask a scientist, right? It depends on the individual, as each situation is different, which is why when people die, the outcome is different, and not knowing, right? Some might survive, some might die. This woman, in fact, fell possibly to her death, or she was more than likely, her neck could have been broken. I keep saying that. Broke by somebody, right? And then say somebody threw her off the balcony to make it appear as if she fell, right? But that's the question, once again, the clenching up of the body in a fall. Say if she was highly intoxicated and if she fell, right? Would there be a bounce off in that? A fall? If she fell head first, face first into the ground, would her neck be broke, as in a shatter with that? Or would it be shatterproof? I want you, the viewer, to sit and think about that. Even when it comes to drunk drivers and them smashing and killing people, even kids, and the devastation in that, would a body be able to withstand that sort of thing in intoxication? Because even drunk drivers, in fact, match this individual. I say young individual, she looked young in her photos, but even matches that, because to say, well, drunk driving includes drugs or involves drugs, and then this woman that was found that involved drugs, right? That's still questionable. A likelihood of a fall, right? Because, see, there's even separation of the bones in the neck with that. If you fall to your death, that's a hard fall, because remember, the body is limpy like this, right? You're just hanging loose. And if you go over the balcony, that's a very hard fall, right? at face, I'm saying, it would have been for her. And so everything in that neck, possibly the bone structure and all the rest, would have shattered, right? And that would have been pronounced even in the coroner's office, of them knowing and understanding the detail, as opposed to someone, say, cracking her neck. There's ways that stuff shatter and going down head first, right? I keep saying that over and over because I need to repeat that. Think of it. If I'm a grown man or a grown woman and I break that woman's neck, right, in silent secrecy, right, it's to say how much bone material is going to shatter in that, in relation to her just falling to her death, being intoxicated. Coroner's office, the coroner's office, they know all that, right? So moving past that, I had to say that is vital, because out here people is driving drunk and they surviving, and yet everybody else is being killed, right? It's to say the question that goes with that, as in how a body is able to say slip and fall, crash and fall, right? Crash out and stall and all the rest, and how a body in relation to sciences is able to or not, being able to endure or not a hard smash. That had to be repeated like 4 times. It's valuable with even that. Dear Discovery Channel, as well as the Science Channel. So the questions: what is the reason for adults having overnight sleepovers? What purpose does it serve for adults to want to, say, sleep over with one another? Sleep over with one another, yes. How close were these people from the beginning? That stands questionable. That always has to stand in question, how close these individuals were in company with one another, just enough to want to sleep in the same house with one another. That's the very first question you ask. If you want to learn how to question something scientifically, I can even teach you that, dear viewer, because this is all puzzle pieces and fitting them together casually, but yet not, right? Because the question, even casual sex, is to say even that. Where I'm grown enough just to speak on it. Yes, dear Discovery. So, standing here, possibly sleep, eyes wide awake, right? That's a death report, what even that. But yes, how close were these people from the beginning, as in the relationships, as in what will make a person want to even be in bed, if there was a bed involved, on the sofa if that was involved, on the floor if that was involved. What will make a grown individual want to keep company overnight with other grown people? What could be the outcome in that? Overnight sleepovers. No kids involved. Because, see, usually kids do overnight sleepovers, and not adults, depending on the situation. And yet some of them in fact do, depending on if it's a party, right? It's so odd that when there's sleepovers, there's always some type of death or something. That anybody notice that when there's adults and say there's drugs and these overnight sleepovers and all the rest, even at hotels, where there's always some type of death or some crazy situation that comes out of the situation, right? So another question: are orgies, that's group sex, are orgies and or drugs more than likely to be involved in adult sleepovers? I want you to question that, dear viewer. Holla, as in wake up. No sleeping. Yeah, no sleeping on that. The question I just asked: are orgies and or drugs more than likely to be involved in adult sleepovers? That wording is not right, and yet it fits, because to say something is more than likely is to say it had to be there of some kind. Are orgies and or drugs to be involved in adult sleepovers? To question why she was at a overnight sleepover with other adults can help to answer so many questions. It just can. Because it asks, first off, number one, why were you there in the first place, can tell so many things. It can possibly even point to your death. Why were you there? Why was she there? As in, what did somebody provide to her for her even to want to be there? You see what I'm saying? In order to be somewhere a part of a situation, somebody has to provide something to you, as in you're wanting to be there. It could be a service, it could be a learning experience of why I'm sitting here, right? It could be something. Nobody is going to be part of a situation just to be there. Because even cause and effect stands in your being somewhere where you may not even need to be. It leads to being put out and possibly over a balcony by somebody's hands and not your own. Or you being intoxicated too much enough to fall face forward, yes, into a dark hole called death, and you're being too intoxicated, falling face forward and smashing and cracking your head, as in your neck being broke with that sort of thing, right? No money involved. But to say, well, I got a question, well, why was she there? As in, who was giving her something enough to want to be there and come back? That's the question, how often she was there. Some people, they don't know how to question an observance, as in going to the source, the root cause of something first. I'm not going to be somewhere I don't want to be. Because, see, that can lead to all type of issues and possibly death on even my own end. And so to want to be some places to say, I had to be there for a reason. There must have been a reason for her one. Was it love that she didn't get? Was there something in a childhood she didn't get or she missed upon, right? To make her want to keep company with other adults in the performance of maybe sexual, maybe not. Just because she was at an overnight sleepover, it does not mean specifically that she was having sex with other grown women and men, and yet something in her life had to have been missing or something for her want to go as in attendance to an adult sleepover. I'm stumbling over my words again. That's a hatchet in the mouth, and yet none stands there. Yeah. Because, see, people sometimes involve themselves in situations as in the lives of others and say there's an emptiness that might need to be fulfilled in them being in the lives of others. There's so many of us in this world, humans of all kinds. We are in fact born with the emptiness as in a hole inside of all of us. Some people say, well, religion can fill the hole. No, not specifically, because if we were to live on this earth and be too full of God and too full of religion, then we would never progress and evolve. Yes, as humankind. If we're too full of something and there's no emptiness involved, we would never if there's no, get me on this, because some people will come cuss me out and come try to train me with even religion right here on this video camera with that, when I say, well, we are all empty species at some point of our lives, as in we can be full, even I am full, but sometimes I feel empty. That's the human aspect. That's to tell me I need to keep pushing it further, right? Some people get it, some people won't. They'll fail to get it, right? Humans can't be completely full of any God or any religion, because if so, that prevents us from evolving. Because, see, there's a laziness in even that. Understand, there's a laziness that if I do something and I'm too full in that, and I don't have a percentage, even if it's 5%, if I don't have a percentage of emptiness within me, I'm not going to move further because I'm too full, which is going to lead to a stagnancy and an emptiness in that, which is why you have some people that walk around preaching to other people, right? Claiming that if you practice this religion or that religion, I have to bring religion into it because I get it a lot from religious people, right? I'm just using them for an example. But it's all about evolving the human species, as in moving further. If I become too stagnant, as in no, I'm going to get stuck in that. So that, in fact, points to even her story is to say she had to have a minimum amount of emptiness in her to want to be involved in a friendship, if that was the case, with them overnight sleepovers, or something else. Something else in her life could have been missing, and wanting to keep company or friendships with that, where even they more than likely left her hanging, as in, yes, the homeowners and all the rest involved in that overnight sleepover left her hanging and not telling the full detail of what happened. That's why it helps to know who you keep around you, as in who surrounds you and why. Because I know life can be lost, and that is to say, who you really think your friend is, more than likely is not once a death occurs your very own, as in where they won't even stand and say. They'll stand and pose in pictures with you, but once you're dead, they won't say anything. They'll cover their own tracks and keep it pushing with even that. So that's why I'm asking, what did she feel she needed amongst those people? Cause to be all hugged up is to say something was there more. She with those individuals. So I asked that already. Cause someone had broke her neck. I asked that and dumped her lifeless body over the balcony. I asked that. Yes, I did. But even you, the viewer, need to ponder that. The shattering of the bone in the neck. Being pushed off of a balcony, the shattering, and how much in the detail. And I said that too. I said I'm thinking a male hands would have be. Oh wait, have be. I'm thinking a male's hands would have to be strong enough to do that, as in the breaking of a woman's neck, more so than another woman doing that. What else? Who wouldn't have wanted sex? Because even lives can be lost in that, as in a death at a sleepover. Say she don't want to sleep with somebody, or say she could have been going to these sleepovers very consistently, and say somebody have tried her at the sleepover and say her not be interested in that sort of thing, right? Who would want to push her to her death with that, right? You got to think about it, dear viewers. Let me see. What could have been the relationship of the homeowner's boyfriend in Horsford? What kind of relation? See, that's why it helps me to be on this camera. Because I was going to say love triangle and even beyond that. Because see, if that boyfriend is questioned like that, that's to ask, was she, Horsford, sleeping with the homeowner's boyfriend? Excuse my finger pointing. I need a ruler. Where's a ruler at? I might need to slap something in the process with even that, and possibly my own self. Yeah, these are scissors. Edward Scissors hands. That's hood speak. No makeup involved. So love triangle. Hold up, stop skidding, downshifting. Could Horsford, the very individual who is dead, right? Could she have been involved in a relationship, or secretive relationship, or secretly sleeping with the homeowner's boyfriend, or sleeping with all two of them, right? Could Horsford have been in a secret relationship of some kind with the homeowner and the homeowner's boyfriend, which could have led to her death or something? Secretly creeping around. I asked this question because of that balcony. Because see, some things happen between relationships, even in the sneaking department. Sneaking, where other people don't know what is happening in these love triangles and all the rest. Even if Horsford was sleeping, that's where a woman becomes involved. Because see, even if sex was not involved at this sleepover, as in any of these sleepovers she was involved with, that's to say that even Horsford and say that homeowner's boyfriend could have been sleeping together, right? Secretly or something, and say that even the homeowner herself, yes, the woman, homeowner herself, could have pushed Horsford off the balcony and finding out there was secret relationship going on. Did you think about that, dear viewer? CC, did you think about that? Hello? Holla back at that over the crime spec, as in the click down in the comment section and tell me what you feel about that. Could Horsford have been involved with that homeowner's boyfriend secretly in the realm of in the pants, getting down somewhere in the sex? And it could, or it might not have even been agreeable on the end of the homeowner's end, and say the homeowner could have killed her and covered it up, and even threw in, oh well, she didn't appear drunk to me before we all went to sleep. That's shady in itself. what I just said, as in could have been a likelihood in what I'm speaking on. People need to wake up and pay attention. Pass this video around. Do what you like with it. May it be served with that. And possibly a life term if whoever goes to jail. So, let me see. Because someone had wanted her for sex purposes if there was no sexual content or anything going on at these sleepovers. Or was sex given willingly? There's some grown men. Yes. Women, I was going to say, but women don't have a Peter in the pants, right? But there's some grown men who have been known to become violent and even throw fits of rage if they are turned down and trying to receive oral sex from other grown women. Not from other grown women, but from grown women. There have been grown men who have became violent and threw fits of rage if they can't receive oral sex and trying to demand it from a grown woman. Such too has even led to death on the end of grown women. Let me see if I missed something. Let me see. So, did I miss anything? I always, question that too, especially when it comes to overnight sleepovers. Well, I'll always question even her case, right? Why was there no other, say, friends? Because see, people would question, well, there was, majority of whites and then there was only this black chick, right? Not just with her situation, but other situations as well. Why don't you take a sister or brother or loved one with you to these type of sleepovers or something? Something that could help prevent your death. It all stands questionable because if a person goes to somewhere alone like that, go to a party, sleepover alone. I keep saying party because that's just what it seems like, a swingers party or something, right? To not have too many friends or relatives there with you is to say there's a secretive nature in that. I went to parties, yes, with even my own, right, kind. Not in race and color, no, just people that think and perceive the world like me, right? Love to discover what even that. But to not have say someone that's really, really close to you there at the party is to say there had to be a reason why even she had to go alone to the parties or sleepovers, swinger parties, sleepovers, right? One in the same, two in the same, 2 for 1, a bargain brunch, right? All that is to say, why couldn't you have taken somebody else? That way they could have your back and being able to see the outlook of the situation. That way anybody, that's why it helps to take people with you to parties like that. Or if you don't take somebody, it helps to know people for years before you be going to parties, random parties, or swinger parties, or overnight sleepovers. Yes, let's call it for what it is, situations, right? It helps to know people for years and going and walking into these sort of situations. That way when you die, whoever you brought with you that surrounds you can tell of the situation. Because even people that have your back don't fear going to jail for even your own end after you die. As in coming out their mouth and saying, well, she was too high, or well, such and such over there in the corner was doing this and doing that. As in they're gonna out in front of everything. And possibly even take the fall on their own end insane, because they're not going to betray you even in death because they care just enough for you like that. Some friends and family won't even do that, but then you do got some people that will in fact do that because they're not going to let you die in vain at no overnight sleepover or party. Be wise with that. So let's see. Yeah, because see, stuff like that can only lead to death because you don't know who at the party might not like you. There could be jealousy issues grown if you're a friend of somebody or something like that, right? At the party, say y'all don't really consider each other. Some people say girlfriend, that's my girlfriend, not in the love realm, right? but some people use certain terms or wording, right? Not everybody's gonna agree. Some people in fact get jealous because you're at a party, sleepover, whatever you want to title it as, right? Some people get jealousy or envious at even that, as in to want to throw you to your death, as in put your lights out with that. Not everybody can handle their jealousy with that, right? And so to say with even that, that's why, damn. Because see, even one of them women could have been involved, have been envious or something, or even her relationship with one of the other women or something. Even they could have been sleeping together and didn't say or something like that, or it was quiet or secretive or something like that in a nature piece, right? Somebody could have been jealousy with, or been lost in jealousy with even that. Another female just enough to kill her, because even women are known to be possessive in the realm of lovers and all that, right? Did anybody question that of women sleeping together at the sleepover and say some other jealous woman becoming jealous because they might have been all sleeping together? You don't know. Even love or bonding is formed in the sleeping together, having sex together. Having sex together, bonds is formed in that, even in relationship where it causes jealousy issues amongst people, even amongst lovers. So I think that's all to be said. We are, in fact, let me know in the comment section what you think and feel about this video. We are, in fact, on investigationdiscovery.com. The ID logo sits in the far left corner. Unlock episodes to gain an audio preview is a click the play button right here. You would, in fact, be directed to that. There's various things to preview right here. Recommended for you. Shouts out to Paula as well as Lieutenant Joe Kenda. ID Go original series. Everything is popping up the way that it should. Days back it didn't. It helps to get on Investigation Discovery's ass with even that gas on the ass by saying, well, nothing is popping up like it's supposed to. To get things to be fixed is to tell with that. People Magazine investigates, yes, cult sweepstakes. You can enter right here for that. You see that? There's all type of games to be won is all I'm trying to say with that. Crime feed, news crime feed to gain access to the crime feed full of latest, greatest mayhem, death, and murder, and not a whoopee cushion with that. I need one to sit on, right? It's a click right within. You would in fact be directed to the outside, which is the crimefeed.com. Yes, with that. I need to stop saying yes. A slip and fall in the mouth. How I talk, I'm saying. To receive a newsletter is to type your email address in and click next. And you would in fact receive a newsletter from investigationdiscovery.com. That's how it's done with that. I need me a hat in the team support where it says Investigation Discovery right here. I would possibly rid people out my life if I wore a hat right here, a baseball cap or something with the ID logo. They possibly think I'm a killer or murderer. They probably run out the room with even that. That's possibly what I need. So yeah, leave me a comment in the comment section, quite a few or something like that, and let me know what you think and feel about her situation. What is the likelihood? And pass the video if you can with that. So love to you.